Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and we're gonna look at some dark cards. And we're gonna talk about the dark today. So, for those who didn't know, I've been purchasing a lot of the dark, okay? A lot. Because it's so cheap. The way the market is, this set's been hammered, okay? It's the weakest of these Four Horsemen sets like this. Nobody cares, okay? Like, when it's this cheap, I consider it a bargain. I can't help myself. I look at it and I go, okay. You can spend big money buying some of the big cards, but at this time I was starting to plan the 20K party. And I said, what can I do that's special? What can I do that's kind of different? And I said, well, how many dark cards can I buy? How cheap are they? Can I actually complete sets of the dark? And here's the thing, when you start looking at the dark, like I could do a spread like Rudy and say, look at all the pirate ships, right? But the point is, they're really cheap, guys. These cards are so cheap right now that it's ridiculous to think that these would ever be this affordable. Now, the funny thing is, if you wanted to buy a complete set of the dark on eBay, you just want to buy a set outright, you're still going to spend quite a bit of money. But if you go piecing out the cards, you go looking, and of course, some of the prices have changed because the Moxman may have bought a few. You know, whenever I saw commons at a few pennies a piece, I bought hundreds of copies. I just kept buying them and buying them and buying them and just not stopping because it was so cheap. Why not? I'm already got, let's say, 200 copies coming. Why not buy 200 more? What's it going to cost me? $8? Like, it's ridiculous to think about, but that's where my mind was at. And then when I started collecting the cards up, I said, I think I could actually go out there and build complete sets of the dark. That was the plan. And at that price point, I could make it so cheap for players because I'm buying in such quantities. It's like buying things out. It was nuts to think about, but it was possible, right? So that's how I started putting this stuff together. The idea, anyway, that I would go ahead and do it. Now, for those who are looking at these cards right now, I think there's, I don't know, I got other long boxes, but I think I've got, I don't know, 10 or 15,000 cards from the dark now, based on what I bought. And it was kind of crazy to think that was possible. Like, these are all brainwash, right? But, you know, sets them and play sets and play sets and play sets. I'm just trying to sort these by color because I'm not using them now. But what about future parties? What about if the market turns? What if? We don't know what's going to happen. But I know at this price point, I was not willing to pass up on this amazing brainwash. I would just keep buying more brainwash. What's 1,000 copies of brainwash? Who cares what 1,000 copies of brainwash costs? Let's just buy as many as we can. Let's just sort it all out by color. Deal with it later. That was kind of my mentality when I started putting this stuff together. I didn't care. I just knew it was so cheap that I could probably complete playsets for people to enjoy. Bog rats cannot be blocked. They cannot be blocked by walls. Remember that. I don't know why that's important for you to remember, but for me, these were the bane of our existence for our regeneration walls and all that crazy stuff back in the day. And now you look at them and you say, okay, it's a 30-year-old piece of history. And there was TCG player stores, there was small convention market things where people offered, and I was like, I'll just take them all. I'll just buy everything you got. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? I'm stuck with a whole bunch of complete sets of the dark that don't cost me next to nothing. That isn't really good English, I realize. I apologize for that. That's just the words that came out of my mouth. Like, I look at the pirate ship here. These are all heavily played, regenerating pirate ships. And I don't care. They're awesome. Don't care. Sometimes with a hobby, you just want to have them. Who cares if you have 500 copies, 2,000 copies, or more? It doesn't matter because you're just having fun with it. And at that price point, you're spending $50 here, $60 there, sometimes less than that, and sometimes in the case of key cards we'll get to, a lot more than that because not every card in the dark, unfortunately, like Holy Light, not every card is cheap. Cards like Dust is, Dust to Dust. These cards aren't as cheap. They're $8, $9 a piece. The Exorcist. Hey, let's just blow up black creatures. Remember this guy? Yeah, you faced me in Commander. You didn't know what this guy was. And I torched you. I know. But it with a Holy Light. Get it? Holy Light? Exorcist? Yeah, you guys got that. Witch Hunter? Why not? Who wants a new one when I can just go get the old ones? But I'm left with so many leftover cards now. I want to sort them out, get them in by color. I'm not really caring if I sort out every single little piece of them right now. But I do want to get them in their proper piles. Oh boy. We're going to multi-piles. You guys saw it. You saw it slip. You all saw it slip. And I got piles that are sleeved, some piles that aren't. And I'm right now just want to get through the Muck Dwellers here. See, that who cares about 500 copies of Muck Dwellers? Nobody. At 8 cents, 5 cents, 7 cents, whatever the shipping costs were. Although some of the import fees in Canada, ridiculous. It cost me more than the cards did. Now here's an interesting one. This is Eater of the Dead. Take one creature card from any graveyard and remove it from the game. Untap Eater of the Dead. 3/4 for 5. Not the biggest card, right? But with an upcoming set that we're going to see with Descend, the Descend mechanic. This actually makes more sense, doesn't it? Because it exiles things and untaps itself. And too bad it's not a powerful card. It's a 3/4. It's not 5/5. It's not a 4/5 even. It's not even Urnham Djinn. It's just some very cool artwork, and it wasn't cheap. 8, 9, 20 bucks, depending on the copies I was buying, which is why you'll see I have a lot less of them, because it cost a lot more. And sometimes orders got lost in the mail. Other times you were just happy to get it, like Ashes to Ashes. How about Word of Binding? X target creatures become tapped as a sorcery. Wipe somebody out. Crazy times. You look at some of these cards and look so weak by today's standards, but other times, like Banshee, does X damage half rounded up and half rounded down to anyone target. It hits you and it hits your target. Think about the Banshee. I'm just saying, amazing artwork and not a great card. Cursed Artifacts, sure, why not? Oh, remember this scared me so much as a kid. This is the Fallen. Tell me that artwork. This is the back of like comic book magazines, you know, you will experience the dark. 122 card set. And you look back on it now. Frankenstein's reserve list. Frankenstein's monster. You know, you look at some of these things, and when I realized how cheap Frankenstein's monsters, $3, $2, Canadian by the way. And I look and I say, okay, Nameless Race. Like you start adding up some of these cards, super cheap. Like here are some. Let me get this pile. Sorry, I'm kind of sitting off to the side here. My setup is not really conducive to do it this way, but I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, we haven't started a green pile. We'll get a green pile over here. I wanted to start getting the scale like Ball Lightning. I still have a chance to finish more sets of the Dark. So I'm still accumulating them. I still have stuff coming in the mail. But like everything else in life, you know, wallets get tapped out. Only so far you can go. You know, the Goblin Hero, he's not going to save me. But I thought about it. I thought, you know, maybe he'll help me out. So either way, Carnivorous Plants. Do you know that card actually made? The Carnivorous Plant made the top 10. It made the top 10. This thing can be reprinted. It made it. Sheer number of sales. Crazy how that works. Oh, we got some crazy cards here. Some of these are sleeved. What's sleeved? Preacher! Remember this guy? Used to be like 150 bucks. Got it for 25. That's where your market is at, people. That's where the market is failing everyone. No one believes anymore. And that allows me to accumulate cards that used to be 50, 60, 70 cents for between 5 and 7 cents each. Strengthen my position in cards that may recover or may never recover. But I will be able to go on knowing that I've bought so many commons from the Dark, so many commons, that I can literally just start creating my own play sets for future prizes, future things on the channel, and just do what I want to do. And as a hobby, I never thought that these cards would go that cheap. I never thought that this would be possible. But it is. You just have to look, find the best deals on shipping, get the most amount you can in a single lunge, and you just own it. And now that you own it, you can do whatever you want. It could never see the light of day. I could build complete play sets and do what I want. Give them out as Christmas gifts. Give them out to friends. Give them out to patrons. I can do what I want because I own them. Some of these cards used to be like 15, 20 bucks. Now they're nothing. Nobody cares. And because nobody cares, that allows other people who do care to come in and get them finally at a good price. And when you can get cards at a good price and you save all that working capital for other things, you literally can start cleaning up, buying the cards you want super cheap, but actually having fuel for the fire later on. And that's why I think people forget. If this market ever recovers and somebody decides they want to go after the Dark, say you want to complete a set. Oh, I want to complete a set of the Dark. Look how amazing this set is. I can't believe I never bought it when I could. But by that point, somebody like me will own such a large position all at once. Obviously not the most in the world, but I will have the most that's available on the open market that you could have bought on TCG Player. And I've already cleaned them out, which means stores have to go hunting. When stores have to go hunting, they charge you more because they have to go looking for it. They have to go through their bulk bins. They've got to go, so they charge you more. But I've already gotten all the deals. I got the market on the way down, and I don't care what happens after that because I have it. Right here, by the way, right here on the camera, this is where the camera stand is, so bear with me. I know my arms are off to the side, but I wanted to kind of share with you guys so you could see at least a couple of the long boxes here. Mana Vortex, another one that's not cheap, okay? Mana Vortex, not cheap. But the idea, I'm going to sort these out by color for now. Apprentice Wizards, remember that guy? Adds 3 colors to your mana pool. The idea I could get these this cheap. Cards like Apprentice Wizard used to be like 20 bucks, and now you can get it for like, $2. Tracker is still like a $5 card, interestingly enough. It's still a $5 card, $5 bill. But, it's fine. You gotta buy 5 of them at a time, it's 25 bucks. But when you're doing that, you add in 100 or 200 commons of things like Amnesia, Flood, and you start building. You start building up where you're trying to get to. It's another tracker. That's a green. You notice the green pile is so small and the red pile is so small, but white and black are huge, good and evil type thing. The way they did it back then, I guess, of how Wizards was thinking things would go. And blue, look at the size of blue. I got so much blue. It's like that song by Eiffel. Was it Eiffel 65? I Am Blue. I hope this pile doesn't move. Just stay still. Got a couple piles left here. It's just interesting. I look at this stuff and I love it. Merfolk Assassins. Like when you look at this and you go, okay, Tango Cap, Merfolk Assassin, man. Let's just give a creature Island Walk and kill it. Remember all the cards that could give Island Walk? And you just start slaughtering them? Mind Bomb. You guys remember Mind Bomb? Yeah. Moxman remembers Mind Bomb. Okay. Oh, Leviathan. Finding ways to untap that bad boy was fun back in the day. Again, you notice I don't have a lot of those cards because they still cost $5-10, right? Oh, look at, okay, Fellwar Stone. OG Fellwar Stone, still like $15-16. So, unfortunately, not every card is cheap. But for the cards that do cost me money, like a Fellwar Stone, I save so much money on all the other commons. Because I'm just going to order the Fellwar, order the Stone Calendars, and ship everything. Is this all artifacts? Right? And ship everything at once. Ship it all at the same time to save myself the shipping fees, and as well as you're already paying for a $15 card, adding 60 copies of Rune Sword for another $5 costs nothing, right? But you're building a position in another form. I'm going to put the land over here too. In another form of, I don't know, another form of, I don't know how to describe this to you guys, but you're already doing shipping anyway. You're already sending the cards your way. What's $5 more to get a whole heaping wad of something that you may not really care about, but it's part of a collection set? Oh, another Fellwar Stone. It's part of a collection set. And if it's part of a collection, right, if it's part of a complete set from one of the old Four Horsemen sets, come on. I mean, if I can do this for the Dark, really, how hard is it to do it for, I guess, a bigger set like Legends? Yeah, the cards are expensive, Tabernacle and stuff. Even Arabian Nights, I get it. Still very expensive to buy. But at the same time, even those prices are cut in half from where they were. So somebody who's looking to complete a set of this stuff ever, or ever want to buy these cards, like this, all I'm going to say is this is your opportunity. I look at this now and I just go, why did I not think of this sooner? When I saw the market downturning, but then I say to myself, I'm glad I waited because the cards got that much cheaper. Things came down in price. Remember the Hag? Target creature gains Forest Walk until end of turn. That's crazy. I'm telling you. The excitement I feel going through, even these are like, uncompleted sets. When you look at how many cards I have here, how many piles, where I start going through, you say, okay, Cursed Artifact, Banshee, Muck Dwellers, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 cards, you realize you've gotten all the bulk cards out of the way. You've nailed it. You've got so many cards available that you've already started your way onto the complete sets. Yeah, you're missing things like the key cards. Blood Moons are hard to come by. They're expensive. You got your Goblin Wizards, Blood Moons, I guess not Sisters of the Flame, the, what do you call it, the Ball Lightnings and stuff. Yeah, those are going to cost you money. Even Tormund's Crypt, OG Tormund Crypts, not cheap, okay? Not cheap. Just letting you know, that kind of stuff, not as cheap as you wish it would be, considering how many times that card's been reprinted, which also shows, by the way, that OG cards tend to hold value. They tend to stick around there, which is interesting. I've always said that the OG originals will actually be the true bling cards in the future, and that apparently is starting. Oh, Mana Clash! It's starting to become true. We got more hags. Got the hags. Oh, it's a lot of green. A lot of green here. All right, that's all green. Okay, we sorted this pile out, and then of course these double-sided. No, a couple Blood Moons, Goblin Wizard, but see, I don't have many of those, do I? When you look at these piles, that's all I have, one or two. But with a Ball Lightning, a Blood Moon, you add in a couple more cards there, like a City of Shadows. You got your core cards out of the way. The most expensive cards, which used to be $300 for a Goblin Wizard, that you can buy for $40. A Bad Moon that used to be $170, I can buy it for $40. That's crazy. The deals for this just look so low. Now, even cards in Antiquities, you can get a lot of the key cards out of the way. Yeah, you're going to spend some for strip mines and stuff, but you can get some of these key cards out of the way and build for the big cards later, and you're just saving yourself time and money and effort by buying as many as you can of a particular one. If I'm going to spend a card that's $1, I'm going to pay $7.99 shipping, I might as well buy 20 of them. That's $27. It makes sense. And if you do this enough times, thousands and thousands and thousands of cards being shipped to you, it starts to add up. And I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. But I'll save this for another time, but we're gonna drop into the next oh, I made a mess. We're gonna drop into the next long box, and we'll see you next time. And of course, this video is brought to you by the amazing patrons of the channel, the supporters who make these type of things happen. Thanks again for each and every one of you being here and supporting. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for another video. Guys, have an awesome day.